Frank, are you on the line? Frank, I see your number, but I think you're muted.
Deborah, you may have to unmute him as the host. I'm not sure. Because if he's just calling in, I don't know if he has mute and unmute capabilities.
He usually does. Yeah, I just tried to unmute him and that's not working.
Okay.
I can see his phone number, but I can't hear him. Mary, I see someone that says Joe. I don't know who that is.
Eric.
Is that Mary?
That's Eric.
Oh, that's Eric. Okay. Oh, that's right, Eric. Everything's under Joe. Okay. Okay, so I know Steve's joining us. Frank's on the line. Ike, can you unmute to? All right, I'll come back to them. So I know it's unusual, but I'd like to do a pledge allegiance. Allegiance to the flag.
The United States of America. To the republic for which it stands.
One
nation.
under
God. Indivisible.
with
liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So the minutes for the July 13th, 2020 meeting. Let me just answer a text here. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes from the July 13th?
So moved.
Was that Bob?
Yes.
Okay. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and that was Leroy. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I don't think we have anybody from the public on the line, but I'll just throw that out there. Is there any public comments?
Did you go ahead? You still got to did you take a vote or did I go out? We got a motion and a second. Just make sure we get a vote.
Oh, okay. Apologize. Okay, so on the minutes, all those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed or no? Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Donald, for keeping me straight. Okay, Chief, do you want to do your report? Chief, you're muted. Yeah, Chief, you're still muted. We can't hear you. Yeah, since I'm not the host, I can't unmute people. Oh, she's saying, wait a minute. We may be having technical difficulties.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. All right. So since the last meeting, we've had about 7 personnel test positive for coronavirus. Obviously, then that's contact tracing to include at least another 30 people to test. The latest positive we received was yesterday. That contact tracing, Valerie as HR did last night, made the phone calls for those personnel. They set up a lot of their testing for today. So, actually for St. John's, that's a pretty significant amount since the beginning. Luckily, we seem to getting them in batches, so it's not affecting our operations or impacting them as much as it could. It is impacting, obviously, our overtime budget as we fill some of those positions. So I wanted to make you aware of that. We're looking into the purchase of a fast test machine and the acquired equipment in order to do immediate testing if one of our personnel believes that they have the symptoms. And in that way, in order to conserve, our own supplies, we would then refer them to MUSC for a backup test, as well as contact tracing. We could send them to MUSC. And that's initially what our game plan looks like for that. As we move forward, we'll have to figure out when we can get the equipment necessary. I have Chief Anderson working on that right now. So we're hoping possibly by the end of next week, we may have that capability. And many of the jails have that capability currently, and a few other organizations. I'm sure the schools will have that, available to them also at some point. We have had, we started physicals this week, last week, I'm sorry. And going into that, we did have a hiccup with that one of our personnel who took his physical on Thursday, went for his COVID test on Friday, and let us know on Sunday that he was positive. So we had to advise the people that are doing the physicals that we had a positive and that they also had interaction with that individual. So that's obviously a complication. Prop is supposed to be starting delivery tomorrow. Chief Murtaugh will be up at the Station 5 site in order to work with the crane operator as they bring that in. And we'll keep you updated on that. Chief Murtaugh, I believe, is going to be up there at 7:30 tomorrow morning. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, 7:30. I know I had mentioned to Deborah potentially being approached about using Berkeley or St. John's Fire District as a polling place in addition to St. John's High School. So we did have a Zoom call that included Charleston County Voting Commission personnel representative for our area, as well as with Berkeley Electric. And the current issue with St. John's High School is that they have 3 precincts reporting to St. John's High School for, I can't even believe it, over 10,000 registered voters that could potentially vote. So what the proposal was to break down that into District 1A, 1B, and 2, with the largest District 2 still going to St. John's High School, the next largest district going to Berkeley, and then the smallest district coming to St. John's. So I think that was probably not a bad approach considering COVID. Hoping that people will apply for a mail-in ballot and that the number of people that will come through the doors anywhere to vote will be minimized by this process. So
Which facility will they use?
all 3.
All 3?
Yes, all 3. So in addition to Hot Gap, and I think, I'm not sure if there's another church available on Johns Island, but obviously, as you are aware, the number of people has increased on Johns Island exponentially. And in order to try and, accommodate that number of people, this actually is a prudent effort on their part to, allow multiple places for people to vote so that you don't have people attempting to stack up on each other. You don't want people getting upset that they're waiting hours in line to vote and potentially not. Again, hopefully they'll take advantage of the mail-in ballots. I mean, that would be, the safest prospect for them. But, this is a charged political atmosphere that we're in. So really don't know what to expect, in that regard. However, they will have safety measures in place for all of their voting sites, as was conveyed to me. The poll workers all will be wearing masks. The people coming in the door will be offered a mask if they don't have a mask, and it'll be only one way in and one way out. So If you have any further questions on that, I'd be happy to entertain that. But I think given the COVID situation, this is probably not a bad way to go, to have 3 places instead of trying to put everybody up on against each other at St. John's High School.
Right.
So I am happy to say that all of our recruits are now out in the field. Since COVID began, and we had the recruits in, initially we had 5 and 1 dropped out because they weren't able to attend the modified recruit training that we could offer. So from that time, we put 4 out on the line, and from February until now, we have also had 4 firefighters move on to other employment. So right now we're breaking even, with the exception of absences due to COVID infection and then related other issues. Now, there have been a couple other illnesses thrown in. Obviously, people have surgeries and other illnesses along the way. So, but we don't have a whole lot of people taking vacation because there's nowhere for them to go. So I guess that's kind of 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
Yeah.
Chief Gilcrease, do you have your incident?
Yes, ma'am. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing
Happy
fine.
Monday. Happy Monday to you too.
Yeah, I don't do Happy Monday. That's not me. So in the month of August, St. John's answered a call 356 times. Johns Island accounted for 210. Waterloo had 46. Kiowa had 60, and Seabrook had 40. That's pretty much it we had for this month. Anybody got any questions? All right.
We did have a fire up on Seabrook, and I'm gonna let Ryan just give you a little bit of information on that because it is an active investigation. And we don't normally discuss a whole lot about active investigations, but it was the boathouse up on Seabrook that stored a lot of canoes. Just the lead into that was that there were a couple of pine straw fires in relative proximity to the boathouse, prior to this, but St. John's had only been made aware of 1. And from that, Ryan, I'll give it to you.
Was that on
Oh.
Casque instead of Seabrook?
Yeah, it was
Correct.
Casque. It was Casque.
Correct.
Yeah,
happy-
Casque, I'm sorry, yeah, Casque, at the boathouse.
Well, happy Monday to everybody. I know Chief mentioned not many people on vacation, but I did go see my mom. So that's where I'm
Good.
that's where I'm at right now anyway. Quick trip to see her. So just a couple things before we get to that. Did check for the July numbers. Let me get my thing here. We did do 14 smoke alarm installs, mostly by the Fire Marshal Division. We're working with a group of condos by Kiowa River, not the new Kiowa River, but the Kiowa River Estates, where some of those buildings are coming to age, and we're working with that property, and those people are purchasing their new ones. We're helping them get the right information. So, and I have just one child safety seat listed here. We do have a different fire investigation from July the 8th, I believe it was. We had 2 vehicles intentionally set off of Blidgeon Road on Johns Island. Working with the sheriff's office on that, we were able to get a warrant that is out for a suspect's arrest on that case. So going to our Casque call about a week and a half ago, we have had a couple incidents. Some we were responded to, some we did not. One that did some significant damage to a wooded area and the boathouse where the Casque members can go and kayaks and everything like that. So we are working with the sheriff's office on that incident right now, and have done some really diligent work on that. And we still have several more things to do as part of that investigation, and that will be ongoing for a bit. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, no one have any questions for Ryan?
Nope.
Okay, good. Um, So I did want to say that, I would be careful, and I recognize that, people are all sitting at home. But, just because information goes out on a unofficial blog or whatever, please make sure that you recognize that everybody is innocent until proven guilty. And in our system, they have to be proven guilty. And I would hate for people to be throwing out names of individuals and then have that not be the case at all. And so we want to really be clear, particularly when you're dealing with young people, that we have all our facts in order, and that's the way we have to operate. So for lack of a better term. So with that being said, reserve the right to come back.
So noted.
Chief, is Sue Chief there with you? She can do the financial report? I don't see her online. Unless she's on one.
1 second, she's here.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. So I'm presenting the first month's financial statements for the new fiscal year. The operating budget remaining goal is 83%. We are overall at 88. Of course, the payroll July end is not included in it. Operating balances as of 7/31 is 5.7 million. The LGIP is at 11,589. July revenue collection is about $61,409. Out of that, we did get a reimbursement for $18,449 for the 2019 Chevy Squad from our insurance company. And we also received a check of, we also have a check of $36,910. This is basically a transfer due from the operating account, from the bond account to the operating account because of some, transfer in and out. Wire transfer for the Charleston County is at 129,000 is what we received in property taxes for June. And we also received an additional revenue from homestead state tax revenue, and that was also in the amount of 125,296. Expenses year to date non-standard as of 7/31 was at 11,729. Our geo bond, we only have one bond which has a balance, which is at $6.9 million. I did send you all the monthly financial dashboard. I'm hoping that everybody got a chance to review it. If you have any questions, or you want me to go over it, or you have any questions?
No,
Awesome. All right. Thank you.
Hey, Donald, the attorney update?
Just that we are sort of in the process of going back and forth on Main Road, and I'll update everybody in executive session about the specifics.
Okay. Any new business to discuss? Okay, Bill, could you please do the building committee report?
Sure. Station 6, we still have 2 outstanding items there. We're still waiting on a resolution of the elevated patio. I believe what we're waiting on is a cost estimate from Choate. I haven't seen that one yet. Item 2, the architect is still working on the ponding issue in front of the station. There's a problem with well, what they're trying to do now is they're trying to get Kika to pay their fair share of it, or what we think is their fair share of the $47,000 that Choate has estimated for that. 17,000 of it is actually for elevating the roadway itself. So we're trying to get Kika to chip into that. There shouldn't be any cost associated there with fire district shouldn't have any cost in that project. Station 4 is very much on schedule, still set for a May 10th completion. Right now we are at a 30% completion based on the invoicing at this point. The current contract price has gone up a little bit because of a few extra change orders. We're at $6,542,000 right now. We've had about $12,000 in change orders that have been approved so far. The concrete block walls are about halfway up. It's starting to actually look like a building. I was there yesterday and was able to pick out rooms, which is nice to see. Steel door frames, that is the pedestrian doors, are set in place. We've got a couple issues with a couple of generators on site. First of all, change order proposal number 7 has already been priced to reinstall the old generator at Station 5. And a report from the electrical engineer indicates that that generator is not compatible with the Station 5 electric. The generator is a 208 volt system, 3-phase, which is a more modern system, and Station 5 is 240 volt 3-phase. So in order to make that generator work, it would need to be rewound to become compatible. So we're in the process of checking the cost of that work. We don't want to put, I wouldn't think we'd want to put too much money into a generator that's too old. So we need to look at the age of the generator and the cost of that rework, as opposed to what it would cost to just buy a new generator. The cost of the new generator at Station 4, by the way, is around $100,000 installed, just to give you a order of magnitude there. The other problem with rewiring that particular generator is it does reduce the capacity by 5 to 10%. Let's see. Also on another generator, there's a small generator that feeds the temporary trailer where the firefighters are staying right now at Station 4. It needs some repair. It currently is not producing electricity. The engine runs just fine, but there's a problem with a breaker on that generator, and when the generator comes on to exercise routinely, it does not send any power to the trailer. So Chode is now in the process of giving us a price to repair that. And Donald already mentioned Main Road, so that's all I have.
Bill,
Yes.
in terms of the moving the generator to Station 5, and I think 3 or 4 years down the road, we're going to rebuild Station 5.
Yes. Yeah, that's a part of the consideration.
Okay.
Do we want to increase the size of the generator to handle that? The generator, when it's rewired, is my understanding from the electrical engineer, it would be reduced to about 238 kVA. The current building requires 225, and the new one is likely going to be more than that. So that's certainly another consideration we need to look at.
Any other questions for Bill?
Nope.
Okay, the Finance Committee. Last Thursday, August 6th, we had a call with the auditors, and they wanted to first explain to us some changes in what they call the Yellow Book. The Yellow Book is a guideline on governmental audits, and there's been a clarification or an enhancement in the Yellow Book that when you are audited and they prepare your financial reports, that you then require an independent review of the financial reports by someone else. And so they were explaining to us that, if they prep these financial reports, that they'd have to pull in someone from, I'll call another division within their organization that then would review, all the documentation, the financial reports to then give us our final letter. So if they would do that, I think Suchitra or the chief, I think it would be around a $2,500 additional fee from our.
That's correct.
There was a question. Suchitra is very capable of creating the financial reports, and she did during that meeting volunteer to go ahead and create the reports. So we can talk about it a little bit more in executive session, but I guess I'm recommending that, we just go with Suchitra creating it, save that additional fee, and then that will give our auditors the opportunity to do what they call an independent review of our financial reports. Does anybody have any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay, so the other thing that we talked about is, they're still, and I don't know if they're still on site there, but they were on Thursday still in the process of their audit. And they really can't finalize the audit, and Suchitra can't finalize the financial reports until the county provides the revenue. And that normally doesn't happen. That final number doesn't happen until September. So we'll be waiting to receive that in September. So the timeline that I was asking them, as far as the audit is concerned, is once that revenue information is received and the financial reports are prepared, I clarified with Emily that the next step would be then to present it to the finance committee to show us, all the documentation prior to sending it to the county. And she felt that they would be able to meet all the timelines for our review and then a submission to the county. And Suchitra, is that submission September 30th, or what's the date of that submission? Is it mid-October? Is Suchitra still there?
There we go. Good.
I honestly don't remember the exact date, but it's probably in October, second week is when it's due to them. But then we usually give our presentation once the Charleston County provides their property taxes and they release that information, because those numbers have to match our numbers. So only when they release their financials can these are financials. So far, I think it's October 15th. So tentatively, we will need to approve the audited financial statements in the month of October.
The finance meeting review, and then the October commissioner. Well, so we'll be good.
Deb, last year we did it at the October commission meeting.
Right. So on October 8th, I was just getting my calendar out. On October 8th is the finance meeting. So we'll hopefully have the draft to go over on October 8th. And then that Monday, October 12th, is the commission meeting that the audit presentation should be made to the commission. And that'll give us plenty of time and I agree with Suchitra, if I remember correctly, it was October 15th, and that would be that Thursday of that week. So we have plenty of time. So that would be the timeline. Any questions about the meeting with the auditors? Okay. Is Steve Rolando on the line? Okay, and I know we didn't have a human resource meeting.
Can you hear me?
There he is.
Here you are. Okay. Hi. I'll now add you as an official roll call as participant.
Thank you. Well, the HR committee did not meet.
Eric, I see you have no picture, but only audio, and that's how I am too. I find that my audio is more clear if I don't have a picture. But Eric, do you have anything to report outside of the executive session? I know we're going to talk about strategic planning in the session, but do you have anything to report? Eric?
It looks like he's on mute.
Yeah, Eric, you're muted. I know he's going to be in and out because he has another meeting that he's attending. So we'll go over it in executive session. Are there any public or firefighter comments? Okay, commissioner comments. Bill?
I have nothing, Deb.
Steve, do you have any comments?
I have nothing, thank you.
Bob, do you have any comments? Bob?
I have nothing.
Eric, did you come back on the line? Yeah, I'll come back to Eric. Leroy, do you have any comments?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay. Frank? Do you have any? Frank, you're muted right now.
Can't get him unmuted either.
Yeah,
It says ask to unmute, but they have to unmute it. He's unmuted. Frank's unmuted now.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Frank.
I want to thank all the employees of the fire district for all their hard work during the pandemic and the firefighters that are working the extra overtime shift to ensure that we have adequate staffing. Thank you for the extra hard work, everybody, during the pandemic, and stay healthy.
Ike, do you have any comments? And you have to unmute. Ike, can you unmute your phone? Mary, do you have any comments?
Ike is unmute now.
Okay, Ike, do you have any comments?
Are you there, Ike? Is that Amanda out there on this too?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you, Ike.
Okay. Yes, I just want to reiterate that let all personnel know that we're appreciative of their hard work and to be very careful with this virus that is going on, and just be as careful as they possibly could. And if something do happen, don't be afraid to speak up about it. That's about it.
Thanks, Ike.
Okay.
Mary, do you have any comments?
You can hear you, Mayor. She's unmuted, but I don't know. Yeah, she's unmuted. So
Eric told me he's having problems where he can't unmute. Is there a way you can unmute him or no?
I've tried. That's why I keep trying to see if to get him unmuted, but I don't understand why it's not. It has worked for everybody else, but
Okay, because Eric's communicating with me through text messages.
okay.
So, okay. Mary, I see Mary's on and she's unmuted. Mary, can you hear us?
I don't know. She's not there. Yeah. Right. Okay. What's that? Yeah.
Okay, well now to add to everyone's frustration, I was going to recommend that we move to the executive session by hanging up on our Zoom meeting, and the chief forwarded an email to you with the conference call information. If you don't have the executive session conference call information, text me and I will text it to you. We're going to go into executive session. We're going to talk about the main road first. And we're also going to talk about, I sent out a draft of capital improvements that I wanted to go over in executive session so that we can move forward on that planning. So can I have a motion to go to executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any Any opposed? Nay? Okay, so you want to hang up, go to the conference call information, and if you have any problems, text me and I'll send. Thank you.
Okay, see you in a few minutes. One minute. Stop the live on YouTube.
Chief, when you end the meeting, it should end the YouTube stream automatically.
Gotcha.